So Peppy, the lead developer of OS, said this about ranked play in Lazer.
We're not going to change the game for the end of the year, put it that way.
And considering that's less than 2 months from now, people are worried it might not happen. But the dev team is making more of an effort than you'd think.
Right now, everyone is in Japan, so we're trying to figure out how we can meet that deadline and I guess how much jank is going to be in there if we do. Yeah, well, Tom doesn't really count. Tom is working on his own priorities. Cool stuff, but also not really helping with our goals.
We'll talk more about this in a future update. For now, though, we have the last 2 weeks worth of changes to cover, starting with something you've surely noticed by now. Argon's HUD elements have been replaced.
One interesting thing is that nothing is pre-baked, it's all adjustable by the user. Like there's a new component called rounded line, and that's used for any lines in the skin.
Has anyone told you the numbers are really hard to read?
Are you about to tell me that?
Maybe. I mean, it's mostly because of the background thing.
Yeah, so the wireframe, as it's called, it's toggleable, or rather you can change the opacity of it. That whole font is made from scratch as far as I know by Flight, and we have a lot of different iterations, a lot of different versions which we can switch to based on the feedback we get.
While implementing these new HUD elements, a few other skinning features also made their way to Lazer. You can now get that full classic feel with a properly rotated key counter. Resizing skin elements doesn't cause any weird squishing anymore. There's a new player name skin component, which means you can stop pretending to be a top player, and you can finally reset elements to their original states. Yeah, touchscreen breaks everything about game balance. That's why back in 2015, when a PP record was set with touchscreen, PP earnings were disabled for that map. Then in 2017, when another PP record was set with touchscreen, developers implemented this new touchscreen detection thing, which marked plays with a touch device mod and nerfed their PP. So for Lazer to support ranked play, touchscreen detection was inevitable.
It's implemented a bit differently from Stable. Stable wasn't really able to tell what hardware was connected, but in Lazer we have a lot more visibility over the hardware which is being used to play. So yeah, as soon as you actually touch on the screen, it will turn on the mod, and this can happen at song select and in gameplay. You kind of know ahead of time that this mod is going to be enabled. Obviously you can't turn it off, but if you switch back to mouse before you start playing, then it will turn it off for you.
And speaking of smaller touchscreens, nice, people comment about Mobile Mania on every video.
Yes, every single video.
So why'd you go with this instead of allowing actual screen rotation?
Well, it used to be vertical scrolling. I got overruled. Other people said that we should lock it to landscape because some of the UI didn't work too well in portrait, like even song select looked a bit weird. That's when Mania became unusable, unplayable.
I guess it's playable now, but doesn't landscape still have like really limited visibility though?
There are other games which do the same thing. Some get around the limited visibility by using a 3D plane, but I do hope that this change is like a stopgap measure which people can actually benefit from until we come up with a better solution.
Okay, it's no secret. The average OS player lost their attention span ages ago, so we won't spend more than 5 seconds on each of these next 5 changes. Just like Stable, you can quickly retry a map with Control R. Settings will auto-select previous search text, so you can type immediately. Bar lines for Taiko got rid of these edge bits. Last played sorting will update based on plays imported from Stable. And Necodex added some new menu sounds. Last update talked about hidden OS mechanics, but this update revealed an even deeper hidden mechanic, one that only Peppy knew about. In Stable, the minimum hit sound volume is actually 8%.
I think I found 5% too low, so I set it to 8. But I mean, I never communicated it because it wasn't even in the ranking criteria at that time. I'm just like, yeah, this is going to be forced on everyone.
Lazer is fixing this confusion. Minimum hit sound volume is 5% going forward, both in the editor and in your ears.
As it is when I'm streaming, I was listening to music rather than paying attention to what sounds in the game were doing, and it turned out there was actually no sound effect tied to that max. It just looked really underwhelming, so now it plays the spinner bonus sound. We have implemented that to allow for a separate sound, spinner bonus dash max, and Necodex is working on sounds for that for the default skins.
Everyone knows how sliders work. You click the head, hold through any ticks, and release after the tail. Each of these elements increases your combo, but it didn't work that way in Lazer.
max combo has been different, full stop. In laser, we have really limited the types of judgments which can be awarded for hitting or missing. And in more recent times, as we've added more types of judgments, I think we've just got a bit more flexibility these days to make that work. So I fixed laser to give a combo for the slider tail, and now we don't have to worry about that anymore.